Hi there, Nigel Saunders here of KW Bonsai. Today we're going to be working on my Ficus microcarpa, the plain looking one. It's been 4 months since I did the last video on it. The tree's changed quite a bit since the last video. In the last video I cut the height of the tree down after growing all summer, and I selectively pruned away to get a nice upper structure to the tree. Since that pruning, the tree's just exploded with new growth all over, right down to the lowest parts of the trunk. The tree had lots of vigor in it. It had been growing all summer, and then I cut it down in height, and all that vigor just exploded into new growth. In today's video, I want to select what branches I want to keep and what I'm going to prune away. In the last few years, I've been growing my upright structure, so these thicker trunks that are growing up to form the crown of the tree. Off of these upright structures, I then grow my horizontal branches to fill the tree out. This upright structure is what gives a broadleaf tree the look of a broadleaf tree. The first thing to do is grow your trunk, then your upright structure, and then off of that upright structure you have your horizontal branches. I see a lot of trees in bonsai that skip that second step where they grow their upright structure, and they just go from the trunk, and off the trunk you have your horizontal branches, which to me doesn't look like a broadleaf tree. It looks like a evergreen tree or a pine tree or a needle type tree. The first decision I'm going to make is, how low do I want my lowest branches on this tree? Do I want branches coming out at the base here? Or do I want it a perfectly clean trunk until I get to my major trunk divisions up here and then start my branching structure? Both styles are valid to a broadleaf tree like this or a tropical tree. It's just a matter of style, what you want. Do you want to see more trunk or do you want to see a full branch structure? My feelings on this tree, because it does have such a wide, thick base, it's not a perfectly kind of straight trunk or a formal upright style trunk. It has a bit of movement to it. So I feel it needs some lower branches to justify that change in direction of the trunk and the extra thickness that this trunk has at the base. So it's important to keep my upright structure thick and strong, and all my branches that come off it will be smaller in diameter. However, I'll grow some of these out, these lower ones, not as an upright structure like this, but as smaller, more delicate branches out the bottom of the tree. We'll start at the base of the tree. I have a little fine shoot here that's in a nice direction and location. I've got one further back here that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 leaves on it. So it's strong enough that it can be cut back now to give it a change of direction and a change of taper. So I'm going to do some directional pruning. I want this branch to be more horizontal, so I'm going to snip it off here. On the other side over here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 branches growing out from almost the same spot. So I want to reduce that to at least 1 or 2, and maybe even none. On this side of the tree, the trunk kind of curves over to the right here and then kind of goes straight up. So we're kind of on the inside of a curve down lower here, which never looks good having a branch come out from the inside of a curve. So I think I'm going to select this shoot here as the one I'm going to keep, and I'm going to get rid of all the others. So let's start doing that. I shall start doing it. So here I go. There's one removed. I want to remove these branches before they start getting too thick and they'll leave a big scar. I may have to do some carving to get rid of the ones that I have here already. they've kind of left a bump here already. I'll cut this branch back. Also, I've got 2 leaves fanning out here that I'll prune back to, like so. Also down low here, I've got a choice of a couple of branches. This branch kind of angles towards the back. This one's in a better location, so I'm going to try keeping that one. Maybe. It's kind of almost at the same height as the one over here. Maybe the lower one's the best one to keep. I'll keep the lower one. That way they're at different heights. We can always try and change the direction of this one in future. There's a branch out the back here that also needs shortening. There we go. We'll trim this one off. And this little one. And this little one. And we'll keep this one and just prune it back. As I go up the tree, I have more decisions to make. I have 2 branches growing from almost the same place here. Actually, 3 branches almost growing from the same place. So I want to stagger my branches so they're not opposite each other. You can see these 2 are opposite each other. We don't like that. I don't like that. So I think this one's going to come off. And this one's going to come off. And that back one's going to come off. And that leaves me with a nice staggered branch structure. One down here, one up here, one coming forward, which I'll shorten. And I'll shorten this one. And I'll shorten the one off to the side here. I have 2 at the back here. I don't want to grow this one because this is the junction of my 2 main branches. And I don't want a big thick branch growing here, so I'll keep the one up higher. So we'll remove that lower branch here. Like that. And the upper one I'll just cut back. Like that. So now we're about halfway up the tree. Higher up in the tree, I have a branch here, which looks good. It comes off the trunk. It's a nice one. I'll just shorten that. And I've got a branch coming off one of my trunk divisions here, which is fine too. I'll just shorten that one. I've got a branch growing at the junction here, so I've got this trunk coming into 2 trunks, so I don't want a third here, so I'll remove that. This one's fine, we'll just shorten it. In the upper canopy, I'm going to look for branches that are growing in towards the tree and remove all those first. There's a one here that's growing right in towards the center of the tree. Get rid of that. Another one down here. One here. Eventually in the upper canopy we will want each upper structure to look like it's separate trees, so they will have branches growing in. But for now, we're still building that spreading upright canopy structure. We're not filling in the fine details yet. That will come. So I'm just cleaning out all this new growth, removing the stuff I don't want, ones that are duplicated and not growing in the right direction, to clean it up and get the structure back under control. I've got all the upper structure pruned now, sorting out all the new growth that came in, getting rid of what I didn't want, keeping the structure fanning outwards, and kind of giving it a trim. My next task is to clean up all the pruning stubs where I pruned the structure back in the last video. So I'll just come in and prune them flush. My last task of the day will be to clean up these places where the branches were coming out and get a nice flush cut so the trunk will heal over nicely. I'll rotate the tree around so you can see all sides of it and see how it's developing. So here we go. Coming around to the right side, to the back, around to the left side, and back to the front. An important part of clip and grow bonsai is to let the tree grow. You clip it and then it grows. So this tree was allowed to grow for 4 months from the last time I pruned it. And again, this time I'll let it grow out again and then we'll go in and prune it again. And each time you do this, the tree gets better and better. That's all today on my Ficus microcarpa bonsai. So Nigel Saunders of KW Bonsai. Do something green today. Start thinking about gardening in spring. And start ordering some heritage seeds and seeds for planting in your garden. Thanks for watching and have a great day.